Ali was just 10 years old, but life had already made him feel much older. Every morning, while other children rushed out the door in polished shoes and neat uniforms, Ali stepped out barefoot onto the hot, dusty road that led to his school. His toes were used to the sting of stones and the heat of the sun, and his feet told stories of every path he had walked in search of survival. His mother, once strong and full of laughter, now lay on a thin mat inside their tiny mud-brick home, weakened by illness and the slow ache of poverty. Ali didn't complain. He couldn't. He was all his mother had. His father had died when he was just a baby, and with no one else to help, Ali became the man of the house. He'd go to school in the morning, sit at the back of the class quietly soaking in every word, and once the bell rang, he'd head straight into town to look for work. Some days he washed car windows at traffic lights. Other days he carried water buckets for the older women at the market. He never asked for more than a few coins, and he saved every penny for his mother's medicine. Yet, despite the hardship, there was something special about Ali. His eyes still held a quiet hope. He believed deep in his heart that life had something better waiting. Every morning he whispered the same prayer before leaving the house, "Just one good thing today, God. Just one." He didn't know it yet, but one day, something small would happen that would change everything. It was an ordinary morning, or at least it started that way. The sun had just begun to stretch across the sky, painting the clouds gold and orange. Ali, as usual, was walking down the same dusty road, his schoolbooks tucked under one arm. He was humming softly to himself, a song his mother used to sing when she had more strength. His stomach growled. He hadn't eaten since the evening before, but he ignored it. Hunger was a familiar friend. Then, just ahead of him, something unusual caught his eye. It was lying right there in the middle of the road, half covered in dust. A wallet. A thick, black leather wallet. At first, he thought it might be empty, thrown away by someone, but as he picked it up, he felt the weight. He opened it slowly, carefully, and what he saw made his heart stop. Cash. So much cash. More than he had ever seen in his entire life. Thick bundles of notes were neatly packed inside. Tucked between them was an ID card, a man's face, a name, and an address. Ali's fingers trembled. His mind raced. With this money, he could buy medicine for his mother. He could buy food. Maybe even shoes. Just then his best friend Sammy appeared beside him. Sammy looked over his shoulder and gasped, "Bro, we're rich. Let's go buy rice, milk, meat, everything. Forget school today. Let's eat." But Ali didn't smile. He looked at the money, then at the ID. His heart was pounding, but his conscience was louder. "It's not ours," he said softly. "Someone might be in trouble without this." Sammy scoffed. "Are you serious? Do you think rich people would do the same for you?" Ali looked down the road, toward the address on the card. He didn't know what he would find there, but he knew what he had to do. He turned to Sammy and said, "Let's return it." Ali clutched the wallet tightly as he and Sammy made their way to the address written on the ID card. It was on the other side of town, where the roads turned from dust to pavement and the houses grew larger, shinier, and colder. Ali had never walked this far into a rich neighborhood before. The walls were high, the gates tall, and the silence almost scary. He felt out of place, his torn shirt and bare feet a sharp contrast to the polished cars parked outside each mansion. When they finally reached the address, Ali hesitated in front of the large, black gate. A silver doorbell shimmered in the sun. He took a deep breath and pressed it. A robotic chime echoed behind the walls. A few moments later, the gate buzzed open. They stepped into a driveway that looked like polished marble. A tall man in a crisp white shirt and dark sunglasses opened the door. He looked down at the two boys like they were insects on his doormat. Ali swallowed hard and stepped forward. "I think this belongs to you," he said, holding up the wallet. The man snatched it from Ali's hand. He flipped it open, scanned the money, and then looked back at the boy with a frown. "You counted it?" the man barked. Ali shook his head quickly. "No, sir. I just found it this morning and—" "Is anything missing?" the man growled, ignoring him completely. "Because if there's even one note gone—" "No, sir. I didn't take anything. I just wanted to return it." The man looked him up and down. His lips curled into a sneer. You think you deserve a reward or something? He snapped. What, you want money now? Get lost. I don't owe you anything. Then, without another word, he slammed the door. Silence. Ali stood there, frozen. Not because of the door in his face, but because, for the first time, doing the right thing felt so wrong. Ali didn't say a word the whole way home. The wallet was gone, but so was something else, his light. The shame, the anger, the confusion, it was all swirling inside him like a storm. He couldn't stop hearing the man's voice in his head, "Get lost. I don't owe you anything." Those words hit harder than any slap. Sammy walked beside him in silence, his usual chatter gone. He glanced over at Ali a few times but said nothing. What could he say? They had done the right thing. They had gone all that way, hoping for kindness, or at least a thank you. Instead, they got a slammed door and a bruised spirit. By the time they reached their tiny home, the sun had already begun to dip behind the trees, casting long shadows on the ground. Ali pushed open the creaky wooden door and stepped inside. The room was dim, just one small window letting in the last bits of daylight. His mother lay on her mat, a cloth pressed to her forehead. She looked up weakly as he entered, her eyes searching his face. "You're late," she said softly, her voice thin. Ali tried to smile but couldn't. He sat beside her and held her hand. It was warm. Too warm. "I found a wallet today," he said quietly. "It had money, a lot. We could have bought your medicine." She looked at him, her eyes tired but still full of understanding. "What did you do?" "I gave it back," he whispered. "To a rich man. He didn't even say thank you. He shouted at me. Called me a beggar." She closed her eyes, then opened them again, gently brushing his cheek with her fingers. "Ali, not everyone sees goodness the way God does. But you did what was right. And that matters. Even if no one claps for you today, your reward will come." Ali looked into her eyes. For a moment, the pain eased. The anger faded. Her words wrapped around his heart like a warm blanket. Even when the world is cruel, a mother's love can still make everything feel okay. The next morning began like any other. Ali woke early, checked on his mother, and stepped outside to sweep the dusty porch. He didn't hum today. His heart still carried the weight of yesterday. The insult, the slammed door, the feeling that doing good had only brought pain. But still he swept. Still he moved forward. That was Ali. No matter how much the world tried to knock him down, he kept getting up. Then he heard it. The low hum of an engine. Not the sputtering motorcycles that usually passed by, but something deeper, smoother. He turned and saw it. A sleek, black car rolling slowly down their bumpy road. It didn't belong here. Cars like that didn't even come near this part of town. Neighbors peeked from their windows. Children stopped playing. The car came to a halt right in front of Ali's house. The back door opened, and out stepped a man in a white coat. The same man from yesterday. But now, without the sunglasses, without the anger. His face looked different, softened. Behind him stood two police officers. Ali stepped back, fear twisting in his stomach. Had he done something wrong? Had the man come to accuse him of stealing? The man approached slowly, then knelt down in front of Ali. "I owe you an apology," he said, his voice quieter than before. "You see, that wallet didn't just have money. It had my emergency heart medication. I didn't realize it had fallen out until I collapsed in my office last night. If the ambulance had come even 5 minutes later, I might not have made it." Ali's eyes widened. His throat tightened. "I'm alive today because of you," the man said. "You could have taken the money. But you didn't. You did the right thing even when I didn't." He looked over Ali's shoulder and saw his mother lying inside. "I want to help you. Not just because you saved my life, but because I see myself in you. Please, let me take care of your mother. Let me help you both." Ali stood frozen in the doorway of his small home, the sun casting soft gold over everything. The rich man, now dressed in a doctor's white coat, waited patiently. The two policemen behind him weren't there to accuse Ali. They weren't holding cuffs. In fact, one of them had brought a small basket of fruit, another carried a medicine bag. Ali turned to look at his mother. Her eyes were half open, lips dry. He knew she needed help fast. But still, something inside him paused. "I don't want your money," Ali said softly. The doctor blinked. "You don't?" Ali stepped forward, his voice firm but calm. "No, sir. I don't want money. I don't want a car, or gifts, or rewards. I just want my mama to get better. That's all I need." For a long moment, the street was silent. The neighbors watching from their doorways, the children holding their breath. Even the birds in the trees seemed to hush. The doctor slowly knelt again and smiled, genuinely this time. "You're a rare boy, Ali," he said. "The kind this world desperately needs. You reminded me today of something I had forgotten: integrity, compassion, love." He turned to the policeman. "Bring in the supplies." That evening, Ali's home filled with warmth. Not from wealth, but from kindness. The doctor's private nurse cleaned and treated his mother. Medicine was given, clean sheets laid down, and a proper meal prepared for the first time in weeks. And as the sun finally disappeared behind the hills, Ali sat beside his mother, her hand now cool and resting peacefully in his. The doctor stood at the doorway watching them, eyes misty. "I came here to repay a debt," he said. "But the truth is, no amount of money could ever repay what you've taught me." Ali smiled. "I didn't want anything, sir," he said. "But maybe, just maybe, this was the good thing I prayed for." And in that tiny house, with no riches or fame, just love and honesty, Ali became something far greater than wealthy. He became unforgettable.